Hi, everybody. Oh, nobody's here. Okay, what's up, everybody? It is Monday. Woohoo! Love Mondays. May 18th. Kind of gloomy, a little rainy, but that's okay. It's starting to warm up. Today, this is what you'll need. This stuff. Black marker, colored pencils, or crayons, a sharpener if you're using pencils. Paper, please, a hard, flat surface, and smiles. So, with that said, I'd like to introduce you to a friend of mine named Hedgehog. Okay? As usual, we'll be drawing some outlines, some suggestive outlines to contain our creature for when we add color. I drew a little bit of a ground in here with some little teeny tiny little dandelion looking things. So yeah, should be a relatively fun, loose drawing today, and hopefully we end up with this cute little creature. All right, I'll let you guys take a peek here and drink and all these lovely little features, the little peach little ears and the little funny little feet and all these big cool furry things on his back here. All right, so take a peek. I'll be right with you. All right, everybody, what do you say we get started? I think it's a great idea. I'm going to go ahead and get myself a nice clean sheet of paper ready to go. All right. Doop-dee-dee. Okay, so as I said, we're going to be drawing a hedgehog today, and we're going to be using most of our page, so maybe you want to set up with a wide sheet with your piece of paper wide or landscape orientation. And like usual, we're going to start with the nose, but because we're not doing a whole symmetrical face today, we're actually going to have to start off the center of the page. Usually I like to start somewhere in the middle of the page. Today we're going to start on the right. But first step is still the same. We're going to find the middle of our page. Boop, boop. There it is. But we also want to find the middle of the right side of the page too. I'll just do the same thing. Beep. There it is. The first mark we're going to make is the sort of the bridge or the arch area of the nose, and it's just a sort of vertical arc line or a stretched out C, and it looks just like this. The next shape we're going to make is actually the nose, and this is a funny little shape. It kind of looks like a little sideways peanut, but the way I kind of would like you to think about it actually is like a pair of ski goggles. All right, but they're very small ski goggles. So they're going to have an arch on the top and then goggles. If you're just joining, we are drawing a hedgehog today. So if you want to find the middle, and draw this little shape and get caught up, feel free to do so. I'm going to keep moving right along. Inside our little ski goggles here, we're just going to make two little arcs or dots for little nostrils. And then right in the middle of this C or this arc line that we made, the first stroke that we made, I'm going to draw an eye coming out of this, sort of coming off the bridge, okay? And it looks just like this. It's pretty much in the middle. And I want to draw the other eye in over here, so come about a nose lengths away from the middle of the bridge. And this eye looks like a sidewards teardrop, or maybe like a little sesame seed. But let's not, don't make it that small. Let's just make it look like that. Before we move on from the eyes, I'm just going to make a little circle up top there, and I'm going to make a little circle in there as well. Very small, but you can get it in there. I believe in you. Okay, the next line we're going to make is going to be the mouth, and it's going to come off the outside of the nose and come up and finish just outside the eye, and it looks just like this. And we're going to draw the bottom of the chin. This is going to be, it's going to come out just outside the left side of the nose. It's going to come down just a little bit. And then it's going to come over to the left and turn back up and stop right about there. It looks just like this. Alrighty. I'm just going to work in the ears up here. I'm going to use my imagination to imagine this line continuing. I'm not going to connect it. And I'm going to draw an ear in here, and it's going to come up and just come back in, maybe pointing back towards this eye a bit. And it looks just like this. And I want to draw the other ear in as well. I'm going to imagine it's going to start the same place where I ended this ear. I'm going to align it with about the middle of this eye, the left eye. And I'm just going to draw an ear. And maybe it's kind of pointing back towards the mouth. A little bit bigger than the other one. Okay. So the next series of lines are a little tricky. Hang in there with me, and I think you won't have any problems. Just maybe watch what I do and then do it yourself. I'll try to slow it down a little bit here. We're going to be drawing in the feet, but as we do that, we're also going to be drawing in a little bit of the fur on the belly. The first line we're going to make is just underneath where we finished this sort of chin line. It's going to be an S curve. It's not going to connect to anything. And it looks just like this. Okay? And just to the left of that, I'm going to draw the back of that same leg with another curved line, but this one just looks like a C or an arc line, and it looks just like this. And I'm just going to draw a little knuckle in there, just like that. Just another little arc line, kind of going in the opposite direction as the back of the leg. All right. Before I move on to the next leg, I'm going to add just 2 little lines there. That's just to indicate a little bit of fur. And then I'm also going to draw a little bit of a lightning bolt line in between this leg and the next one. Very small, like, just like that. I'm going to draw the other front leg. It's going to be very similar to this one. It's going to be a little bit different on the back, but this first line is pretty much the same. It's going to be this S curve, okay? And it's going to come up a little bit higher than that lightning bolt, or you could connect it right to that lightning bolt line. That's fine too. It looks just like this. And the back of this leg is going to have a little bit of like a little elbow almost showing. So it's going to kind of come down, have a little bit of a bump, and then arc back down. So it's going to come down, a little bit of a bump, and then arc back down. And similarly here, I'll draw a little knuckle in there. So we're going to aim out here because we're going to draw the back legs in next. All right, but before we do that, I'm going to draw a lightning bolt line aiming down a little bit, but not too much. Just kind of aiming down a little bit. It looks just like this. How's that? And now I'm going to draw the hind leg. This is the back leg. And it is going to have a little bit of kneecap and then sweep out like these, the front line here. Maybe watch me and then try your own. There's a little kneecap and a little bit of a toe. All right. And the back is just a C or an arc line, just like this, with a little bit of a toe or a knuckle. And then we're going to sneak in a little tiny foot back here. And this is pretty easy. We're just going to do like a little, oh, how do I describe this line here? It's kind of like a backwards 7 on its side, I guess. Maybe watch this and then do your own. You see how it's a little bit of a 7. And then just 2 arcing lines in front of it. We're going to be putting a lot of color in here, so don't worry about the details for now. Just trust me that I'll get you there. I'm going to draw a little bit of his backside here, just a simple little line with a bump and straight out. A couple more lines we're going to draw. And they're going to be guidelines for how the fur is going to end. We're going to do one here, we're going to do one on the back, and then we're going to do one down the middle. First one's going to start just behind the ear, not connected. And we're just going to go right up the back, just like that. I'm going to use my imagination to continue this line and add a few more lightning bolt lines in the back. And one more lightning bolt line is going to come right through the middle here. All right, I'm going to start just about the middle of the ear. And I'm just going to come back this way. I'll probably stop right about before I hit the back leg anyway. It looks just like this. That should be plenty. Okay, here we go. I'm going to put the cap on my black marker and I'm going to get ready to move on to color. So today I've decided to do a traditional colored hedgehog, a lot of brown fur up here, maybe some gray, a little bit of olive green to help my colors. I'm going to use some light peachy tones in the ears, the nose, maybe a little bit under here and on the paws. I'm going to leave a little bit of white throughout the bottom here, a little bit of white in the face. I would say the main thing to pay attention to is when we're drawing in the fur in the back, we're really going to use that technique where we angle our pencil, all right, in that sort of sweeping, scribbling motion that will help our imaginations see all the direction of this fur here, okay? That's one pretty important thing to note here before we get started. Like we usually do, I'm going to let you freely choose the color of your hedgehog, but because I'm going to do a traditional colored one, I'm going to start with 3 shades of brown, and that's what I'm going to use up here. I'm going to use a lot of different colors today, but those 3 shades are what I'm going to start with. So if you wanted to do a purple hedgehog or a green hedgehog or any color hedgehog, make sure you have 3 shades of the same hue or the same color. So for instance, if you were doing a purple hedgehog, maybe you have dark purple, medium purple, and light purple, or maybe even pink. So if you were doing green, you want a dark green, a regular green, and a light green, like a lime green, or maybe even yellow. Like I said, I'm doing a traditional colored hedgehog, so I'm going to have 3 browns. The 3 browns I have chosen: light brown, regular brown, and dark brown. Okay, as usual, I'm going to start with my darkest brown first. All right. Got my dark brown. I'm all sharpened up. I'm ready to go. And like I said, I'm just going to use this sort of directional pattern to start laying in some color. All right? And this should go pretty quickly. We're not coloring anything in just yet. We're just starting to lay in a little bit of this color and get an idea of the direction of the fur on the back of our hedgehog. So, very simply, I'm just going to go like that. I'm not going to go too crazy. I'm not coloring in too much just yet. I just want to give myself some visual cues, direction of all this cool fur. He already starting to look cute, huh? And make sure we're turning all the way down as we get towards the back there. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit here, just so looks like he has a little bit of fur on his forehead, a little bit, not much. All right, I'm going to do a little bit here, not much, couple lines, and I'll do a little bit back here, couple small lines. All right, hey, that's enough dark for now. We're gonna try to move through our colors quickly in order to keep our hedgehog looking exciting and energetic. I'm grabbing my second brown as we move from dark to light. Second out of 3 colors. And I'm just going to do the same thing I did here. One thing being, I'm going to try and make my zigzags in between the other zigzags. Not right on top, kind of in between, weaving them together somewhat. And that goes just like this. Same idea. I'm still using this zigzagging pattern. Trying not to go right over what I did, but weave it in a little bit best I can. Okay, maybe there's a little bit more up here and in there, and I want a little bit of this on the forehead as well. And maybe there's a little bit in here and on there. There we go. Okay. Not too shabby. There's a couple in there. Not too much. We got plenty more color to add today. So if we need to come back to this, we can do that. Okay, I'm moving on to my third brown as we move from dark to light. This is my lightest brown. And I'm going to do the same thing. Just going to add more zagging lines all the way across the back of my hedgehog. Same exact technique. Maybe aiming my pencil a little bit on the side to get a little more coverage, and maybe making my zigzags a little tighter so I'm starting to fill in some of these scribble gaps. Now that's not the objective just yet. We're going to come in with another color to actually fill those in. But let's just make these zigzags a little tighter than we did for the other 2 colors. There we go. I'm going to add some more of this shadow down here, under here. I'm going to add a little bit of lines here in that sort of transition area. Just sharpening this up. Okay. All right, so I still have my lightest brown. I'm just going to add some of this at the top of the ear, both ears. Sort of using that direction a little bit. I'm going to add some of this on the forehead. I'm going to add a little, actually let's add a little bit more of this on this outside here where he's kind of turning his head. I also want to add a little bit of this just around the nose, okay? I'm going to leave a little bit of white around the middle of the face, but there's going to be a little bit of brown sort of there at the tip. And lastly, I just want to make a little bit of a shadow in front of the bottom of the ear. And this line's pretty important, or this color application is pretty important. I'm going to do a little bit of a zigzagging line coming around the outside of this side of the face, and it looks just like this. All right, and that's just to kind of close off the other side of the face there. Okay, so I have finished my 3 browns, at least for now. I've used my dark brown, my medium brown, and my light brown. But like I mentioned, I want to use a color here to fill in my scribble gaps, and we're going to use that same color to color in some of the fur throughout the lighter areas, okay? I'm going to use gold for this step, or this sort of darkish yellow, okay? And I'm going to use this to fill in the scribble gaps up top first and foremost. And then we'll use this color again elsewhere. But for now, let's go ahead and color in all the scribble gaps here. We don't have to exactly fill in every single one. There is a little bit of those white highlights that are going to come through on our hedgehog. So do, the best you can. Color in some of it, not all of it. But this will just help reinforce our other colors. But it's okay if we miss a few gaps here and there, it's totally fine. All right, it's looking pretty good. I'm just going to sharpen up, guys. Okay, so I'm going to leave the inside of the ears white. Okay, I'm still leaving the nose white. But I do want to I want to start shading in a little bit of the face and a little bit of the body. But those areas I'm going to leave white for now, okay? So I'm going to start here at the outside of the face. All right, like I said, I'm going to leave some of the middle of the face white, but not all of it. I'm going to give some of this coming right down the nose there, kind of down the middle of the face. I'm going to use this color up here near the top. All right, just a little bit there. And I'm going to do some of this underneath as well. And this is sort of aimed in a little bit different direction. All right. Just do a little bit more of this. All right. Let's do, let's just do a little bit more there. There we go. I also want to put a little bit of this around the eye, underneath there. Put it underneath here as well. And up top, heading towards the ear. And we'll do the same thing over there. Okay. Alrighty. Pretty cool. Next, I'm going to, I'm just going to put some of this at the top of the ear. Next, I'm going to actually color in the paws or the little feet here. I'm going to color in the nose, and I'm going to color in inside the ears. And I want to use a little bit of a flesh tone for that. So I'm going to choose peach or very, very light pink. And when I color in the feet, I'm just going to color in the actual feet areas where the toes are. I'm going to leave the, what would be the forearms or the elbows. I'm going to leave those white. So just color in the feet. Just color in the feet. Just the feet. Okay. This is just a little brush I found in the basement. It's better than I use my hand. Sometimes I find I smush the colors. And I'm also going to use this inside the ears. Not all the way, but most of the way. And I'll color in the nose there. Maybe a light shade. Lightly shade where the bottom lip would meet the top lip. And I'm just going to use this paint to fill in some of the scribble gaps on the nose. Okay. Alrighty. Cool, huh? He's funny. Okay, next I'm going to pick a color for my eyes. I have decided to do green. So I'm just going to use like the circular motion around that circle I made earlier. Do the same thing in here. I know it's very, very small, but I bet you guys can see it. And before I finish the eye, I'm just grabbing my marker. I want to color in the inside, the very inside of the eye there. And I'm also going to close this circle up a little bit. Try to leave a little bit of that white behind. Okay. All right, we're getting there. We're getting there. Next thing I'm going to do, I actually want to go back to my regular brown. My light brown. I want to add a little bit more shadows in the face here. I'm just going to lightly shade in the side of the face there, where that neck is turning. I'm going to lightly shade in right here where the fur is transitioning color, changing from this dark stuff to this lighter color underneath. And we're going to do a little bit of shading along the belly. All right, no big deal there. Let's do a little bit more shading underneath the eye on this side, and a little bit above the eye and below. Okay, no big deal. And a little bit more of this at the bottom of the ear. There we go. Okay. Hey, I think we're pretty well along here. We got a lot of cool colors going on. We have lots of different fur and all this fun stuff. Let's go ahead and get our black pencil. And I'm going to use this in the way we always do. I'm going to do some suggestive outlines. I'm going to add some detail in the fur to keep my colors in contrast. A little bit outlining here, a little bit outlining here, and a couple of little furry tick marks in the bottom here. First things first, I'm going to add some details in here by just making big W's or N's. Not too many. Just enough. All right, now I'm going to add a few on here up top to give me a little more texture along the top of my guy. I'm going to use it out here on the cheek, so it looks like he's turning his head. I'm going to use it out here to outline that side of the face. Not going to connect it. I'm going to use a little bit here and here. Let's use a little bit on the back of the leg, above that leg. Maybe there's a few little marks out here. Here. Maybe there's just a few lines on the ear there. Just going to sharpen this up real quick. All right, I also want to do a couple fun little whiskers here, and they're not too long, and they tend to come down some. All right, just a few. Dope. All right, we're going to do a couple off the ear, do a couple above the eye, and maybe there's a couple little hairs coming out along the way. Not too many. All right, and let's just do a couple of little tick marks there, indicate fur. And maybe there's a couple in there as well. Okay. Cool. All right, let's draw a little bit of grass in here. I'm going to get a medium green, not the same green I used for the eye. It's a little bit different. Although having said that, I'm going to use this green to give the eye a little bit of a highlight up top. Just using this darker green up top, create a little shadow. So the way I'm going to do this grass is I'm going to be coming out from the middle. Whoops. So this grass is going to go this way, and this grass is going to go this way. It looks just like this. And then this grass is going to go this way. All right. And we'll do that on each leg. And we'll do a little bit underneath. Okay. And to enhance that, I'm going to grab a darker green, slightly darker, not too much darker, just to create a little bit of contrast down there. And I'm going to do the same technique and weave this in between a little bit. Just a little. We don't need a ton of this. All right, maybe there's a whoop and a whoop. A couple leaves, little tiny leaves. Maybe there's only one on that one. And maybe it's a little flower, a little buttercup or something like that. A little something or other. Something or other. Okay, cool, man. This guy's looking pretty neat. He's having a good day. He's crunching and munching on treats. He's checking out the scene. Okay. All right, well, I mean, hey, I'm feeling pretty good about this guy. It's 20 of. We still have some time. So I think I've been wanting to use this color because it's super cool, this olive green. I said I might use it earlier, and I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to add a little bit of it in the spine. I'm going to add a little bit of it down here, maybe some highlights and stuff like that. I'm not really going to sweat it too much, so let's see how it looks. Seems to be blending in pretty well with all the other colors I've already chosen. It ends up maybe filling in a few more scribble gaps, giving me a little more texture, a little extra color. Use a little bit of this in here, right in where the color is transitioning. Use a little bit under here. Maybe there's a little bit of a shadow under his arm coming out there. And then do that back here. A little more shadowing underneath here. Looks pretty neat. And I'll do a little bit of shadow underneath there. Yeah, yeah. Woo-hoo. Maybe a little bit of a shadow there and there. And a little bit inside the ear. Cool. Maybe there's just a little bit right there. Oops. No big deal. All right, cool. Well, there we go. We got ourselves a hedgehog. I'm going to go ahead and pick a color to sign my work with. Today I'm going to go with, oh man, such a hard decision. I think I want to go with bright pink. All right, here we go. Cool, guys. I love him. I think he's so cool. I hope you guys also ended up with a very fancy, very handsome hedgehog. And you'll be able to enjoy him all day, or her, and maybe work on him throughout the day a little bit. Go for it. When you decide you're done with your drawing, please, please, please upload them to the page so that I can have a look and Allie can have a look and we can all enjoy all of each other's drawings together. That would be super cool. Another thing I would like to just make sure I remind you guys of is, and I'm not doing Fridays anymore. I know I was not on Friday, so most of you probably already know that. But in case you missed a couple sessions last week, now you know Fridays are a no-go any longer. And lastly, be good to your parents and they'll be good to you. Okay, guys? Thanks again for watching. I hope you guys have fun. I sure did. Have a wonderful Monday. I'll see you Wednesday. And, yeah. Happy Hedgehog. Smile. See you later. See you later. See you later. Bye.